The rain hammered Seattle like it had a personal grudge, turning the cracked sidewalk outside my dorm into a slick river of regret. I hadn't spoken to Cody in 72 hours. Not a text, not a glance, nothing. After he'd spilled his soul in that dimly lit coffee shop, his voice cracking like thunder as he said, "Jordan, I can't pretend anymore. It's you. It's always been you." And now, as I shoved open the door to our shared apartment, soaked to the bone, there he was, Cody, silhouetted against the floor-to-ceiling window, a half-empty bottle of whiskey in one hand and my favorite photo of us, grinning idiots on that road trip to the Olympics, shredded into confetti at his feet. I froze, water pooling around my sneakers, my heart slamming against my ribs like it wanted out. Cody, but he didn't turn, didn't flinch. Instead, he let out a laugh so hollow it echoed off the exposed brick walls, a sound that sliced through me deeper than any knife. 3 days, Jordan. 3 fucking days of radio silence, and you waltz back in like nothing's charred to ash. You know what? Fine. Here's your response. He spun then, eyes wild and red-rimmed, and hurled the bottle, not at me, but past me, shattering against the doorframe in a spray of glass and amber. "I love you, you coward." And that's the problem. Because loving you means watching you run every goddamn time it gets real. That was the hook, the moment the world tilted, and I realized ignoring him hadn't buried the truth. It had only unearthed the bones of everything we'd buried together. Cody and I had been inseparable since freshman orientation at the University of Washington. 2 kids from opposite coasts thrown into the gray drizzle of the Pacific Northwest like it was fate's cruel joke. I was the jock from sunny San Diego, all broad shoulders and easy charm, majoring in environmental science because I figured saving the planet was a solid backup to my half-baked dreams of pro surfing. Cody was the artist from the Rust Belt grit of Pittsburgh, skinny as a reed with ink-stained fingers and eyes like storm clouds, sketching feverishly in his notebooks while blasting indie folk that made my chest ache for reasons I couldn't name back then. We'd crashed into each other that first week, bonding over late-night ramen and bitching about the endless rain. "This city's a watercolor painting gone wrong," he'd said, smudging charcoal across his sketchpad as we hunkered down in the student union. I'd laughed, clapping him on the back a little too hard, feeling that electric buzz under my skin that I chalked up to new friend adrenaline. By sophomore year, our dorm room was a chaotic shrine to our friendship. My surf posters clashing with his abstract nudes, empty beer cans mingling with paint-splattered canvases. We were the duo everyone envied, Jordan and Cody, the unbreakable bros who could turn a kegger into a philosophical debate or a hike into an impromptu photoshoot. But beneath the bro-code bullshit, there were fissures. I catch him watching me in the mirror while I changed after a run, his gaze lingering on the curve of my back, and I joke it off with a towel snap, heart racing like I'd sprinted a marathon. He'd lean into me during movie nights, his head on my shoulder, breath warm against my neck, and I'd shift away, blaming the couch cushions. I wasn't blind. I knew the rumors swirling in our circle, the knowing smirks from our queer friends at the campus LGBTQ center. "You two are basically married," they'd tease, and Cody would flush crimson, sketching furiously to hide it, while I played the oblivious straight guy, because admitting anything else felt like stepping off a cliff. The cliff came crashing down that Thursday night, 3 weeks before everything imploded. We'd hit up the Pike Place market after classes, dodging tourists and inhaling the salty tang of fresh salmon, our laughter cutting through the autumn chill. Cody had been quieter than usual. his usual quips replaced by these weighted silences, like he was carrying a secret too heavy for his frame. We ended up at that hole-in-the-wall coffee shop on First Avenue, the one with the mismatched mugs and fairy lights strung like drunken stars. I was midway through my black coffee, ranting about my latest paper on ocean acidification, when he set his latte down with a deliberate clink. "Jordan," he'd said, voice steady but eyes fracturing. "I need to tell you something." The words hung there, thick as fog rolling off the sound. I nodded, casual as ever, but my gut twisted. And then it poured out, the years of pining, the stolen glances, the ache that had carved him hollow. "I'm in love with you. Not as a friend. Everything." The shop blurred around us. The barista's hiss of steamed milk, the murmur of strangers, until it was just him, raw and exposed, waiting for me to catch him or let him fall. Panic hit like a rogue wave. I mumbled something incoherent about needing air, bolted into the rain-slick streets, my mind a tornado of denial. "He's my best friend. This ruins everything." I crashed at a buddy's place that night, scrolled mindlessly through Instagram feeds of sun-soaked beaches and fake happy couples, ignoring the buzz of my phone lighting up with his texts. "Talk to me. Please." By morning, shame had settled in my bones, but so had fear of what it meant if I felt that same pull, that forbidden gravity toward him. So I ghosted. 3 days of deliberate nothing, skipping our shared classes, muting his notifications, burying myself in the gym until my muscles screamed. On the third day, as the rain turned biblical, I cracked. The apartment door creaked open to that wreckage, the shattered bottle, the confetti of our photo, and Cody's laugh, brittle as autumn leaves. He stepped over the shards, close enough that I could smell the whiskey on his breath mixed with his familiar scent of turpentine and rain. "You think ignoring me makes it go away? I've been here, Jordan, painting your ghost into every canvas, wondering if you're out there hating me for daring to feel." His voice broke on the last word, and something in me shattered too. I reached for him, fingers grazing his wrist, but he jerked back like I'd burned him. "Don't. Not unless you mean it." We stood there, inches apart, the storm raging outside mirroring the one inside. I wanted to say it, to confess that his words had unlocked a door I'd bolted shut years ago, that loving him terrified me because it meant rewriting every safe story I'd told myself. But the words stuck, lodged like glass in my throat. Instead, I whispered, "I'm sorry," and it was the weakest thing I'd ever uttered. Cody's eyes searched mine, hunting for the truth I couldn't voice, and then he deflated, shoulders slumping as he sank onto the couch. "Sorry doesn't fix a broken heart, man. But hey, at least now you know how it feels to be invisible." That night, we didn't speak again. He retreated to his room, door clicking shut like a guillotine, while I picked up the photo scraps, taping them back with trembling hands. Sleep evaded me, the ceiling a blank canvas for my regrets. By dawn, resolve had flickered to life. I had to fix this, had to face the man in the mirror who'd run from love like it was a shark fin slicing the surf. Little did I know, the real storm was just brewing, betrayal wearing the face of someone I thought I could trust. The next morning broke gray and unforgiving, the kind of Seattle dawn that clings to your skin like damp regret. I brewed coffee strong enough to strip paint, the aroma filling the apartment like a feeble peace offering. Cody emerged from his room around 9, hair tousled and eyes shadowed, dressed in that faded husky hoodie we'd bought on a whim during orientation. He paused in the doorway, assessing me over the rim of his mug like I was a sketch he wasn't sure how to finish. "Truce," I ventured, sliding a cup his way across the scarred oak table. He took it, fingers brushing mine in a spark that neither of us acknowledged. "Truce," he echoed, voice rough from the night before. We fell into an uneasy rhythm. Small talk about classes, the Mariners' latest collapse, anything to skirt the chasm between us. But the air hummed with unspoken weight, every glance loaded, every silence a confession. By afternoon, we'd migrated to the living room, him cross-legged on the floor with his sketchpad, me sprawled on the couch pretending to study. I watched him from the corner of my eye, the way his pencil danced across the page, capturing the slant of rain against the window in swift, sure strokes. "What's that one?" I asked, nodding at the half-formed image. Cody hesitated, then flipped the pad toward me. It was us, or a version of us, standing on a cliff's edge, waves crashing below, my hand outstretched toward his but not quite touching. The detail stole my breath, the tension in my jaw, the hope flickering in his eyes. "It's cathartic," he said softly, tracing the edge of the paper. "Keeps me from exploding," guilt twisted in my gut like a riptide. "Cody, about last night. I didn't mean to." He cut me off with a raised hand, gentle but firm. "Don't apologize again. Just be honest. With me. With yourself." His words hung there, a challenge wrapped in vulnerability. I wanted to spill it all, the confusion, the fear, the way his confession had cracked open a hunger I'd starved for years. But instead, I nodded, muttering, "I'm trying." We ordered pizza that evening, greasy slices devoured in front of a mindless action flick, laughter bubbling up tentative and real. For a moment, felt like old times, elbows bumping, inside jokes flying like sparks. As the credits rolled, Cody leaned back, head lolling against my shoulder. "Missed this," he murmured, so quiet I almost missed it. My arm draped around him instinctively, pulling him closer, and for the first time, I didn't pull away. His warmth seeped through my shirt, steadying the chaos in my chest. Maybe, I thought, we could rebuild from the ruins. But Seattle has a way of undercutting fragile hopes. Enter Ryan, tall, tousled blonde hair, the kind of effortless cool that turns heads in lecture halls. He was in my environmental policy seminar, always front row with sharp questions that made the prof sweat. We chatted after class a few times. Nothing deep, but there was an ease to it, a flirtation I leaned into like a crutch. Ryan was out and proud. No baggage, no history to complicate things. When he texted that Friday, "Hey, party at my place tonight? Bring that surfer vibe," I said yes before second-guessing. It was just a party, I told myself. A way to clear my head, test the waters without drowning. Cody noticed the shift immediately. "Going out?" he asked as I shrugged into my leather jacket, the one he teased me about looking too brooding poet. I shrugged. Casual. "Yeah, Ryan from class." Low-key thing, his pencil stilled, eyes narrowing just a fraction. "Ryan. Huh? The golden boy." There was no bite to it, but the undercurrent prickled. "It's nothing," I said, forcing a grin. "You should come." He shook his head, sketching resuming with renewed vigor. "Nah. Got a deadline." "Have fun." Don't do anything I wouldn't. The words landed like a half-joke, but his gaze followed me to the door, heavy with something I couldn't decode. Ryan's place was a converted warehouse in Capitol Hill, pulsing with bass-heavy indie and bodies packed shoulder to shoulder. The air was thick with weed and cologne. Rainbow flags draped lazily over exposed beams, a safe haven for the campus queer crowd. Ryan spotted me immediately, weaving through the throng with 2 beers in hand. "Jordan, you made it." His smile was electric, dimples carving canyons in his cheeks. We clinked bottles, falling into easy banter about the prof's latest rant on carbon taxes. 1 drink became 2, then shots of something fiery that burned away my hesitations. Ryan's hand grazed my arm, lingering, and I didn't flinch. "Dance?" he asked, nodding toward the makeshift floor where bodies swayed under strung lights. "Why not?" The music thrummed through me, Cody's face a distant blur in my mind. Ryan pulled me close, hips aligning in the crush, his breath hot against my ear. "You're trouble. You know that?" He laughed, and I laughed too, letting the rhythm carry me. It was freedom, raw, uncomplicated, his lips brushing my neck in a tease that sent heat pooling low. Hours blurred, stolen kisses in shadowed corners, his fingers threading through mine as we stumbled onto the fire escape for air. The city sprawled below, a glittering beast indifferent to my unraveling. "Come back to my room sometime," Ryan murmured, sealing it with a kiss that tasted like possibility. I nodded, buzzed and bold, but as his cab pulled away, doubt crept in like fog off the bay. Back at the apartment, the clock glowed 2:17 a.m. Cody's door was cracked, a sliver of lamplight spilling out. I paused, guilt gnawing. "You up?" I called softly. A rustle, then his voice, laced with sleep. "Yeah." "Good night." I leaned against the frame, the party's echo still thrumming in my veins. "Yeah." "Fun." He sat up, sheets pooling around his waist, expression unreadable in the dim glow. "With Ryan." It wasn't a question. I nodded, throat tight. "It's new." Cody's jaw ticked, but he forced a smile. "Cool. He seems nice." The lie hung between us, brittle as rice paper. I retreated to my room, the bed cold and vast, Ryan's kiss a phantom on my lips. But it was Cody's face, hurt flickering behind that smile, that haunted my dreams. The weekend dragged, a tense standoff masked as normalcy. Cody buried himself in his art studio on campus, emerging only for hurried meals where conversation skimmed the surface like oil on water. I threw myself into runs along the Burke-Gilman Trail, pounding pavement until my lungs burned. Ryan's texts lighting up my phone like flares. "Missed you already." "Round 2? I replied with emojis, hedging, my mind a war zone. Sunday night, Cody cornered me in the kitchen, arms crossed over his chest. "We need to talk, Jordan." For real this time, his tone brooked no argument. We settled on the couch, the same one where we'd binge-watched the office marathons, knees inches apart. "This thing with Ryan," he started, eyes fixed on his hands. "It's fast." "Are you sure?" The question pierced, laced with the fear I recognized all too well, his own. I shifted, defensive. "Why wouldn't I be? It's easy." "No drama." Cody's laugh was sharp, wounded. "Easy. Right? Because that's what love is, easy." He met my gaze then, unflinching. "I get it. I'm the complicated one. The one who upended everything by saying it out loud. But ignoring it doesn't make it vanish. Jordan. It just festers. His words landed like punches, each one cracking my armor. It's not about you, I lied, voice cracking. I just need space to figure shit out. Cody recoiled as if slapped. Space? That's what you've been doing for days. And now you're diving headfirst into some rebound with a guy who doesn't know you. Not like I do. The truth of it stung. Raw and undeniable. Tears welled in his eyes. The first I'd seen since that coffee shop night. I love you enough to let you go if that's what you need. But don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. I reached for him, apology on my lips. But he stood, backing toward his room. Think about it, he said, voice a whisper. Because if you choose easy, you might wake up one day realizing you traded real for regret. The door clicked shut, leaving me adrift in the silence. The weight of his words pressing down like the relentless rain outside. That night, I texted Ryan. Rain check? But sleep came fitful. Dreams tangled with Cody's sketches and Ryan's kisses. A prelude to the betrayal that would shatter us all. Monday morning hit like a hangover without the fun. Classes blurring into a haze of half-heard lectures. My notebook filled with doodles of crashing waves instead of notes. Cody and I navigated the apartment like ghosts. Polite nods in the hallway. Shared space but worlds apart. He left early for the studio, his backpack slung over one shoulder, avoiding my eyes. I lingered over breakfast, scrolling Ryan's Insta shirtless hikes, coffee shop aesthetics, wondering if that polished life was the escape I craved. By noon, temptation won. I shot him a text. Lunch? His reply was instant. Hell yes. Meet at the quad. Ryan was all sunshine and easy grins when I arrived, unwrapping a turkey club like it was the height of romance. We talked policy, surf spots, the absurdity of Seattle's weather-safe topics that danced around the edges of us. You seem off, he said midway through, blue eyes probing. Everything good? I hesitated, fork spearing a wilted salad leaf. Just friend stuff. He nodded, sympathetic. Dorms can be drama central. Spill if you want. But I couldn't muster the words. Instead, I let his hand cover mine across the table, warm and reassuring. Well, if you need a distraction, he murmured, thumb tracing circles on my skin. I've got your number. That distraction escalated by Wednesday. Ryan invited me to a gallery opening in Fremont, his roommate's exhibit, abstract sculptures that looked like twisted metal hearts. The space buzzed with art types in ironic glasses and thrift store chic, wine flowing like the ship canal outside. Cody would have thrived here, dissecting each piece with that razor-sharp insight, but he wasn't on my mind. Not consciously. Ryan stuck close, arm slung around my waist as we navigated the crowd, his whispers in my ear sending illicit thrills down my spine. See that one? Looks like regret frozen in steel, he said, nodding at a jagged form. I laughed, the sound foreign in my throat, and pulled him into a shadowed alcove for a kiss that deepened too quickly. Hands roaming under jackets, breaths mingling hot and urgent. Guilt nipped at the edges, but I shoved it down, letting the night's momentum carry me to Ryan's bed. It was my first time, real, intentional with a guy, the room spinning with new sensations. His stubble grazing my collarbone, the press of body slick with sweat, the low groan of his voice saying my name like a prayer. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of his cedar cologne. Doubt crept in. That was. Ryan trailed off, propping on an elbow. Grin lazy. Incredible, I supplied, forcing levity. He chuckled, pulling me close. Stay the night. I did, but sleep evaded, my mind replaying not Ryan's touch, but Cody's words. Don't lie to yourself. Thursday brought confrontation. I stumbled home at dawn, reeking of smoke and regret, only to find Cody at the kitchen table, a fresh canvas spread before him. My face, rendered in bold strokes of ochre and midnight blue, eyes haunted by unspoken storms. He didn't look up as I entered. Rough night. The casualness was a blade, slicing clean. I winced, dropping my keys with a clatter. Ryan's gallery thing. Got late. Cody's brush paused, paint dripping like blood. Gallery. Right. Bet it was inspiring. Sarcasm dripped, thick and acrid. I sank into a chair, elbows on knees. Cody, don't. He set the brush down, finally meeting my gaze, eyes stormy, jaw set. Don't what? Don't call out the elephant stomping through our living room? You're glowing, Jordan. Fucked out and happy. Good for you. The vulgarity shocked me, so unlike his usual poetry. It's not like that, I protested weakly. We're just seeing where it goes. Cody barked a laugh, bitter. Seeing where it goes. With the guy who's been eye-fucking you since week 1. Meanwhile, I'm the idiot who laid it all bare and got crickets. He stood, canvas forgotten, pacing like a caged wolf. I told you I loved you. You ran. Now you're playing house with Mr. Perfect. Message received. Tears pricked my eyes, hot and unwelcome. It's not a message. I'm confused. Okay, this us, it's messy. Ryan's not. Cody stopped, inches away, breath ragged. Messy? That's life. Jordan. That's love. Not this sanitized bullshit you're chasing. His hand ghosted my cheek, a touch so tender it broke me. I see you. The real you, the guy who cries at sunsets, who quotes Neruda after too many beers, who holds my hand when nightmares wake me. Ryan, he'll never know that, Jordan. The vulnerability in his voice undid me. I surged forward, capturing his lips in a desperate kiss, salt and longing, years of banked fire igniting. He responded fiercely, fingers fisting my shirt, pulling me flush against him. The world narrowed to the slide of mouths, the hitch of breaths, the revelation that this was home. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. Cody, I whispered, the dam cracking. I think I'm in love with you too. God, I've been so scared. Joy flickered in his eyes, fragile as dawn light, and he kissed me again, softer, sealing the promise. Then show me, he breathed. No more running. For a stolen week. We were a light, stolen moments in the apartment, bodies mapping each other with reverent hands, whispered confessions over midnight snacks, sketches of us intertwined, raw and unfiltered. I ghosted Ryan with a vague text. Things changed. Sorry. And ignored the pang of his hurt reply. Cody and I rebuilt, brick by tentative brick. A hike to Rattlesnake Ledge where he sketched me against the vista, wind whipping our laughter. A rainy movie night dissolving into slow, exploratory touches that left us breathless and bonded. This is us, he'd say, tracing my scars from old wipeouts. perfect in the mess. But paradise in the PNW is fleeting. Winter storms always follow the thaw. The betrayal slithered in on a Friday, unannounced. I'd left my phone on the charger while Cody napped post-studio, his head in my lap, soft snores syncing with my heartbeat. The buzz jolted me, Ryan's name flashing. I silenced it, but curiosity won. I swiped open. Not a text, a voice note, timestamped last night. Jordan, we need to talk. I know about Cody. Saw you two at the market yesterday. All cozy. But that's not why I'm pissed. My stomach dropped. He told me everything, how you used me to figure shit out, like I was some experiment. Then you ditch me for him? Fuck you. Oh, and check your email. Sent you a little gift from our easy nights. Dread coiled tight as I opened my laptop, Cody stirring beside me. The email attached a video, grainy, timestamped from Ryan's bedroom that night. Entangled, moans echoing in the tinny audio. Below it, share this with your precious Cody. Let him see what confused really looks like. Nausea surged. Ryan hadn't just lashed out. He'd weaponized my vulnerability, leaked it like chum to sharks. I deleted it frantically, but the damage was viral. Ryan's caption on a private group chat I'd been looped into. Surfer Boy's secrets. Who's next? Notifications exploded. Friends shocked emojis. Whispers already spreading like wildfire through the quad. Cody's eyes fluttered open, sensing the shift. Jordan? What's wrong? His voice was sleep-mussed, innocent. I slammed the laptop shut, throat closing. Nothing. Go back to sleep. But he sat up, concern etching lines on his face. Bullshit. Talk to me. The lie died on my tongue. Tears spilled instead. Ryan. He found out about us. And he sent this video. Of me and him. It's out there now. Cody's face drained of color. Understanding dawning like a gut punch. A sex tape? Jesus. Jordan. He scrubbed a hand over his face. Hurt blooming fresh. You said it was over. That you chose us. I did. Panic clawed up my chest. This is revenge. He's lashing out because I hurt him. Cody stood, pacing, voice rising. By fucking him while you were figuring out if you loved me? That's not revenge. Jordan, that's consequence. You played with fire, and now we're both burning. The accusation landed true, searing. I reached for him, desperate. Cody, please. I love you. This doesn't change that. He shrugged me off, eyes glistening. It changes everything. Because now the whole campus knows your dick before they know your heart. And me? I'm the fool who waited. He stormed out, door slamming like finality, leaving me in the wreckage of my choices. The video spread unchecked, screenshots hitting my DMs, crude comments from strangers, the queer community I just started trusting turning into a coliseum of judgment. Ryan's betrayal wasn't just exposure. It was erasure, reducing me to a punchline, Cody to collateral. I curled on the couch, sobs racking, the rain mocking my isolation. High school bullies had called me fag in whispers. Now the world shouted it in HD. But the real wound was Cody's absence, the echo of his trust fracturing under my recklessness. By evening, he returned, not with forgiveness, but fury. The dean's office called, he said, tossing his bag down. Complaints about inappropriate content circulating. They're pulling you from seminar. devastation hit. What? No. Cody's laugh was mirthless. Welcome to consequences, babe. You wanted easy? This is it. He collapsed beside me, not touching, but close enough to feel the heat of his anger. I defended you, you know. Told my friends it's bullshit. That you're more than this tape. Gratitude warred with shame. Why? He turned, eyes searching. Because I love you, idiot. Even when it hurts like hell. We clung then, messy and mending, but the fracture lingered, a hairline crack threatening to spiderweb. The climax brewed as winter deepened. The videos fall out a storm we weathered together. Anonymous hate mail, supportive texts from true friends, therapy sessions at the campus center where Cody held my hand through panic attacks. You're not defined by this, he'd whisper, sketching affirmations on my skin with marker worthy, loved, whole. Ryan vanished, expelled after the dean traced the leak, his golden facade crumbling under scrutiny. Justice, bittersweet. Yet trust is a fragile rebuild. One night, weeks in, as snow dusted the city for the first time, Cody confessed his own ghost. I almost left. Packed a bag after the call. My heart stuttered. Why didn't you? He cupped my face, thumb brushing my lip. Because under the mess, I see you. The man who fights for waves and whales, who makes me believe in forever. We made love that night, slow and sacred, reclaiming what the world had tainted. But dawn brought a new shadow, graduation looming, futures diverging. My internship in San Diego calling like the tide, Cody's fellowship in New York, a canvas of urban grit. The conflict peaked on a bridge over the Montlake Cut, wind whipping as we walked, unspoken fears heavy. What if distance breaks us? I voiced the dread. Cody stopped, gripping the rail, city lights fracturing on the water below. It will, if we let it. But love isn't easy, Jordan. It's the fight. Tears stung, the weight of potential loss crushing. Betrayal had been my doing. This was fate's cruel twist. Spring unfurled in reluctant bursts, cherry blossoms warring with persistent drizzle, mirroring the tentative bloom of our mending. Cody and I navigated the aftermath like tightrope walkers. Therapy twice weekly, where we unpacked my internalized shame, his quiet resentments, date nights at hidden speakeasies, where candlelight forgave what words couldn't, shared canvases, my clumsy brushes beside his masterful strokes, painting futures we hoped to inhabit. The video faded to campus legend, a cautionary tale whispered in dorms, but its scar lingered, a reminder that vulnerability could be viral, love a public execution. Yet, in the quiet hours, we thrived. Mornings tangled in sheets, his head on my chest, heartbeat sinking like a lullaby, evenings on the balcony, passing a joint as he read poetry, Walt Whitman, all that barbaric yawp that made me feel vast and seen. This is the you I fell for, he'd say, nuzzling my neck. The one who listens like the ocean. I'd trace the freckles across his nose, marveling at how his laughter could eclipse storms. Sex evolved from frantic reclamation to worship, lazy Sundays mapping moles with lips, urgent midnights after arguments dissolved in gasps and grips. We were human, flawed. I'd snap when stress peaked, retreating to runs that left him anxious. He'd withdraw into art, silence a fortress when doubt crept. But we talked fiercely, tenderly, learning that love was excavation, unearthing tenderness from temper. Graduation crept like fog. Caps and gowns loomed, a capstone to our chaos. My San Diego offer was ironclad, ocean conservation gig with a coastal firm, waves crashing close enough to taste salt on my tongue. Cody's New York fellowship gleamed, residency at a Soho gallery, urban pulse fueling his abstracts. 3,000 miles, I'd murmur in bed, his fingers stilling on my hip. Airplanes exist, he'd quip, but fear shadowed his jests. Echoes of my 3-day silence, the video's betrayal. Promise me, he said one night, voice small against my shoulder. No running. Not from this. I kissed his temple, fierce. Never again. You're my anchor. The ceremony was a blur. Pom-poms and cheers under a rare blue sky. Families flooding the quad. My folks, sun-leathered from Cali beaches, clapped loudest, oblivious to the undercurrents. Cody's mom, a steel-haired widow from Pittsburgh, hugged me fierce, whispering, "Take care of my boy." Pride swelled, mingled with ache. Post-grad bash at a lakeside bar, beers flowing, toasts slurred, our circle toasting Jordan and Cody, finally out and unbreakable. Laughter rang, but as night deepened, Ryan's ghost hovered, a drunk classmate's ill-timed joke. No sex tapes at this party, right? Silence fell, knives out, until Cody stood, glass raised. To second chances, he said, eyes locked on mine. And the love's worth the wreckage. The table erupted, tension shattering like cheap stemware, but his hand under the table squeezed mine. Steady, sure. Packing gutted us. Boxes lined the apartment, relics of our life. That taped photo, now framed. His sketch of the cliff, edges softened by time. My surfboard, wax-scented promise of horizons. Last night in Seattle, we walked the waterfront, ferries ghosting across the sound like memories. Pike Place hummed distant, fishmonger's calls fading. Remember our first fight? Cody asked, leaning on the rail. I chuckled, arm around his waist. Over that Go Doffel Folk album you blasted. He elbowed me. You loved it eventually. Truth. I'd loved him through every discord. We kissed there, salty breeze tangling our hair, the city a backdrop to our vow. New York to San Diego, I said. We'll make it our canvas. Dawn flight out. I hugged him at security, his eyes bright with unshed tears. Call when you land, he murmured, fingers lingering on my collar. Every day, the plane lifted, Seattle shrinking to emerald patchwork, heart a lead weight. San Diego embraced me, sun-scorching doubts, office humming with grant proposals, evenings surfing swells that mirrored my inner churn. Texts bridged the gap. Miss your sketches. Send one? His reply. A digital doodle of us as mermaids, tails entwined. Calls stretched late. His tales of subway muses, my rants on red tape. Love you, we'd end, voices soft against static. But distance is a thief. Weeks bled to months. My schedule ballooned. Fieldwork off Baja. Board meetings till midnight. His residency intensified. All-nighters in the studio. Openings with collectors who saw dollar signs in his pain-fueled pieces. Texts lagged from minutes to hours. Sorry. Crashed after critique. Calls shortened. Fatigue fraying edges. Miss you became rote, a placeholder for the ache widening. Loneliness crept. Bar nights with coworkers. Flirtations I shut down cold. His mentions of a cute barista, laughed off but stinging. Insecurity bloomed, memories of Ryan, my hesitation, whispering you'll lose him. The fracture hit in October, 6 months post-grad. I'd flown east for a conference, surprise visit, roses and grand gestures planned. But en route, a text from a mutual friend, Cody's show tonight. Packed house. He's killing it. Excitement surged. I detoured straight there, weaving through Soho's neon veins to the gallery. The space thrummed. Wine-sipping elites. Spotlights on canvases that stole breath. His series, tidal pulls. Abstracts of blues and grays swirling into faces. Mine fractured amid waves. Pride swelled. Tears pricking as I spotted him across the room. Black button-down hugging his frame. Hair artfully mussed. Charming a cluster of admirers. Our eyes met shock. Then joy lighting his face. Jordan. He crossed the floor in strides, pulling me into a crush of limbs and lips. Murmurs of God. I missed you lost in applause. The night blurred. Toasts to his success. My hand in his under the table. Whispers of hotel sheets later. But as guests thinned, a man approached, tall, silver fox with a patron's gleam. Cody, darling, that piece, haunting. We must discuss acquisition. The endearment landed odd, proprietary. Cody flushed. Introducing Evan, my mentor. Evan's gaze lingered on me, assessing. Ah, the muse. California calls. I hear. Later, in the cab to my hotel, Cody deflated against me. Evan's intense. Pushes me hard. I kissed his temple. Proud of you. The room was a cocoon. Clothes shed in haste. Bodies reuniting with fervent need. His moans a symphony. My name a mantra. Dawn found us sated, tangled, but as coffee brewed, my phone buzzed, work email, crisis off the coast. Have to head back early, I said, gut twisting. Cody's smile faltered. Already, silence stretched, heavy. We're drifting, he said finally, voice small. I feel it, panic flared. No, we're not. This visit proves it, but doubt shadowed his eyes. Does it? Or is it just a bandage? The argument simmered low. My absences, his immersions, unspoken fears of repeating my past flight. I can't lose you, I pleaded, cupping his face. Then fight for us, he countered, tears spilling. Like you promised, we parted with kisses and plans. Thanksgiving in Seattle. Neutral ground, but the seed of discord rooted deep. Back in Cali, the calls resumed, but barbed. Another late night? Laced with accusation. My fieldwork pulled me under, diving kelp forests, data logs till eyes blurred, while his voicemails crackled with exhaustion. Gallery dinner ran long. Talk tomorrow. Distance amplified flaws. My temper flaring over missed connections, his silences breeding paranoia. Holiday loomed, a lifeline. I booked flights, heart pounding. But en route to Seattle-Tacoma, a voicemail. Cody, voice wrecked. Jordan. Evan, we. I'm sorry. Call me. Betrayal's echo, sharper this time. Not mine, but his, the mentor's hands wandering during a vulnerable critique. Alcohol blurring lines, a one-night lapse born of isolation. He confessed tearfully at the airport, me arriving to his huddled form on a bench. It meant nothing, he sobbed, but it broke everything. Fury warred with forgiveness, Images of Ryan's video flashing. My own sins mirrored. How could you? I hissed, but pulled him close anyway, the crowd blurring. Because I'm human. Scared you'd fade. Pain knife deep. Trust's fragile rebuild crumbling. We retreated to our old apartment, sublet to friends, now a time capsule. Nights dissolved in recriminations and raw sex, purging poison. We're toxic, he whispered once, post-climax, my head on his chest. Or we're real, I countered, tracing his ribs. Humanistic truth. Love isn't flawless. It's the choice to stay amid shards. We opted therapy again. Cross-country sessions via Zoom. Excavating wounds. Evan vanished. Fired after Cody's report. Justice a cold comfort. But the scar bonded us. Deeper empathy forged in fire. Winter yielded to spring. Decisions crystallizing. I turned down a promotion. Negotiating remote work. He deferred a Paris offer. Anchoring in Seattle. Ours, we vowed. Signing a lease on a queen and walk-up view of the Sound. Space for his studio. My board rack by the door. The climax crested on our 1-year mark. A cliffside hike. Same as his sketch. Rings exchanged in sea spray. Simple bands. Engraved no running. Forever? He asked. Eyes shining. Always, I promised. Sealing with salt-lipped kiss. Yet life tests. A storm hit that summer. My fieldwork stranding me in Mexico for weeks. Calms down. He waited, painting tempests. I returned to his arms, and scathed. Friends' weddings dotted calendars, vows we echoed privately. His first solo show sold out. Pieces of us immortalized. My article on reef restoration cited nationally. Pride mutual. Betrayals faded to footnotes. Replaced by quiet victories. Adopting a rescue mutt. Weekend getaways to the Olympics. Lazy Sundays where he sketched and I read aloud. But the true peak? A rainy evening. 2 years in, Cody. Canvas in lap. Turning to me with a sketch, our future. Children imagined with donor help. A family sketched in hope. Ready? He asked. Vulnerable. Emotion choked me. More than waves or worlds. We cried. Laughed. Planned, human. Hopeful. The years layered like sedimentary rock. Each stratum a testament to endurance. Seattle rooted us deep. The queen and flat evolved into home. Walls papered with Cody's evolving exhibits. Shelves groaning under my oceanographic tomes and his poetry anthologies. The mutt, Luna, became our furry therapist. Her wagging tail diffusing spats over forgotten dishes or late nights. Work balanced. My hybrid role let me chase grants from afar. Diving expeditions balanced by desk days. Cody's star rose. Galleries from Portland to Provincetown clamoring for his emotional seascapes, as critics dubbed them. We traveled, me teaching him to surf in Baja, him dragging me to MoMA closings, worlds colliding in shared wonder. Conflicts arose, inevitable as tides. A gallery scout wooed him to LA, promises of fame clashing with our stability. It's just 6 months, he'd argue. Eyes alight. The counter. And if it stretches? We barely survived 3,000 miles. Fights flared, doors slammed. Silences stretched, but we learned walks with Luna to cool heads. Make-up sex that reaffirmed. You're my horizon, he'd say. Apologies in his touch. Forgiveness became muscle memory. Betrayal's ghost exorcised through time. Family wove in, my parents. Thawing to our truth over Cali barbecues. Mom gushing over Cody's art, his a widow's fierce love enveloping us at Steel City Thanksgivings, pierogies and toasts to found family, weddings dotted, our vows, small and seaside, officiated by a queer elder from the center, waves crashing chorus. In chaos and calm, we pledged, bands glinting like beacons. The humanistic core emerged in quiet acts, volunteering at the LGBTQ youth shelter, where Cody mentored sketching circles, me leading ocean talks, sharing scars to light paths. One kid, echoing my younger denial, confessed a crush. Cody's gentle own it, but pace it mirrored our origin. We healed outward, ripples from our wreck. Climax revisited in crisis. Cody's diagnosis, spring of year 5 testicular cancer, early but aggressive. The word oncology hollowed us. Scans and chemo a gauntlet. I held his hand through needles, shaved my head in solidarity, surfed alone to scream at indifferent seas. If I go, he whispered one nausea-racked night, love again. Promise. Fury rose. You don't get to decide that, but fear gnawed, echoes of loss, my parents' quiet worry. Yet he fought, painting through pain, canvases of cellular wars, beauty in battle. Remission came autumnal, scans clean, our embrace under golden leaves a resurrection. Post-recovery, life deepened, the sketch fulfilled, IVF with a surrogate, our son Theo arriving squalling, dark curls like Cody's, I see green like mine. Fatherhood upended, sleepless nights tag-teaming feeds, Theo's giggles erasing chemo scars. Our masterpiece, Cody cooed, sketching tiny fists. Challenges persisted, colic cries testing tempers, work pulls straining, but joy anchored. Beach days where Theo toddled in sand, us building castles, love's architecture. Betrayal's final echo? A decade on. Ryan resurfaced an apology email, reformed in therapy, owning his wreckage. I shared with Cody over wine, he nodded. Forgive, I asked. For us? Yes. Human mercy, releasing chains. Now, evenings on the balcony, Theo asleep inside, Luna at our feet. Seattle's lights dance on the sound, rain a gentle patter. Cody sketches, me reading Whitman still. I sing the body electric. He pauses, hand on my knee. 3 days, he teases, feels like lifetimes ago. I pull him close, kiss lingering. Best shock I ever got. Our story, not fairy tale, but epic, dramatic tempests yielding romantic calms, emotional depths plumbed for humanistic light. Betrayals forged resilience, conflicts carved compassion, love the constant current. In America's vast tapestry, from Seattle's grays to imagined futures, we're woven threads, flawed, fierce, forever. The end? Not tragic, not flawless, gloriously human. As Theo's laughter drifts from dreams, Cody whispers, again, and we begin, wave after wave, unbroken.